I always believed my wife loved me, but she was having a long affair with my brother. I feel betrayed by everyone around me. I'm writing this from a studio apartment that smells like mildew and regret. My phone hasn't buzzed with a friendly message in 3 months. I need to tell this story because maybe, just maybe, someone out there will read it and stop before they make the same catastrophic mistake I did. I cheated on my wife, Emma, not with some stranger at a bar. Not during a drunken moment of weakness. I had a calculated, months-long affair with someone from work, and I convinced I deserved it. The worst part, I didn't just cheat. I destroyed a woman who gave me everything, shattered my kids' sense of security, and burned every bridge I'd spent 32 years building. And for what? For absolutely nothing. Let me take back to where it started, cause that's important. That's where I could have stopped. It began 6 months ago at a company retreat. Her name was Nicole. She was new to the marketing department, confident, funny, and she laughed at my jokes in a way Emma hadn't in years. That's what I told anyway. Emma was tired. She was raising our 2 kids, working part-time, managing our household. Of course she wasn't performing for me anymore. But I chose to see it as neglect instead of exhaustion. Nicole and I were paired together for some trust-building exercise. We had to guide each other through an obstacle course blindfolded. Corporate nonsense. But when she put her hand on my shoulder and said, "I trust completely," something shifted in my chest. It felt electric. It felt like being seen again. I should have recognized that feeling for what it was. Shallow validation from someone who didn't know me yet, who hadn't seen me forget to take out the trash for the 100th time or heard me snore, or watched me struggle through my dad's funeral. Nicole didn't know the real me. She knew a curated version I presented at work. But I didn't think about that. Instead, I thought about how exciting it felt to be interesting to someone again. We started texting, just work stuff at first. Then memes. Then longer conversations about our lives, our dreams, our frustrations. I complained about Emma. God, I actually complained about my wife to another woman. I told Nicole that Emma and I had grown apart. That we were more roommates than lovers. That I felt invisible in my own home. None of that was true. Emma told me she loved me every single day. She left notes in my lunch. She planned date nights even though she was exhausted. She asked about my day and actually listened to the answers. But I had decided to see her differently. To rewrite our story so I could justify what I was about to do. The first time I Nicole was in the parking garage after a late meeting. She had touched my arm while we were talking, and I just leaned in, she me back. My heart was racing, my hands were shaking, and I felt alive in a way I hadn't in years. I also felt sick. The guilt hit immediately, like swallowing acid. I drove home in silence, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. Emma was already asleep when I got there. I stood in the doorway of our bedroom watching her breathe. Her face peaceful and trusting, and I knew I should confess right then. I knew I should wake her and tell her everything and beg for forgiveness. Instead, I took a shower and scrubbed my skin until it. Then I climbed into bed next to her and pretended to sleep. That was my last chance to be honest. I didn't take it. The affair escalated quickly after that. Secret lunch meetings that turned into afternoon hotel visits. Deleting text and call logs. Creating a separate email account. I became a liar, a sneak, a completely different person. And the sickest part, I enjoyed it. The sneaking around made it feel forbidden and exciting. I felt younger, more alive, more desirable. I stopped seeing Emma as a person. She became an obstacle, a burden, something I had to manage and hide from. When she asked if something was wrong, I told her she was imagining things. When she suggested couples therapy, I said we were fine and she was overreacting. I gaslit my wife, the mother of my children, the woman who had stood by me through job losses and family deaths, and every hard moment of adult. I did this for 4 months. 4 months of living a double, of lying every single day, of watching Emma slowly lose confidence and start questioning her own sanity. Then came the night that ended everything. Emma's sister, Jenna, saw me. She saw me with Nicole at a restaurant across town, a place I thought was safe because we never went there. Jenna watched me hold Nicole's hand across the table. She watched me kiss her in the parking lot. She took pictures. She didn't confront me. She went straight to Emma. I came home that night around 10. I'd told Emma I was working late, finishing a presentation. I'd practiced my tired expression in the car mirror. I'd even messed my hair a little to look stressed and overworked. Emma was sitting in the dark living room when I walked in. Just sitting there in silence, her phone on the coffee table in front of her, glowing with evidence of my betrayal. "Hey," I said. "Why are sitting in the dark?" She turned on the lamp. Her face was a nightmare, red, swollen, tear-stained, but also completely blank, empty. Like I'd killed something inside her. "How long?" Her voice was steady. That terrified me more than screaming would have. My stomach dropped through the floor. What? How long? She picked her phone and held it out. Jenna's pictures filled the screen. Me and Nicole. Holding hands. Kissing, looking at each other the way I used to look at Emma. I've heard people talk about, or, flight responses. I experienced a third option, freeze. My mouth opened but nothing came out. My brain was scrambling for an explanation, an excuse, anything that would make this okay. There was nothing, no words existed that could fix what those pictures showed. Emma, our kids are asleep upstairs, she said me off. Her voice was shaking now. Our 7-year-old daughter and our 5-year-old son are asleep in their beds right now, and their father is a liar. Their father is a cheater. Their father destroyed their family for, what exactly? Who is she? It didn't mean anything. Duent. The word exploded out of her. Then she caught herself, lowered her voice, glanced at the ceiling. Don't dare say it didn't mean anything. Risked everything we built for something that didn't mean anything. That's worse. That's so much worse. She was right. God, she was right. The next few hours are burned into my memory like a scar. Emma didn't yell anymore. She went cold, methodical, terrifying in her calmness. I need to tell me everything. She said. When it started. How many times? Where? I need to know exactly what did to our marriage. So I told her. Sitting on opposite ends of our couch. The same couch where we'd watched movies and folded laundry and fallen asleep together 1,000 times, I confessed everything. The retreat. The texting, the first kiss. The hotels. The lies. With every word, I watched her a little more. Her hands were clenched so tight her nails drew from her palms. She stared straight ahead, barely blinking, barely breathing. When I finished, she sat in silence for a full minute. Did use protection? She finally asked. The question gutted me, not because of what it implied about disease or pregnancy, but because it showed how thoroughly I'd betrayed her trust. She had to ask if I'd put her health at risk, her own husband. Yes, I whispered. Always. Get out. Emma, please. Out. Of. My house. Her voice cracked on the last word. I can't look it right now. I can't breathe the same air as. Pack a bag and leave before the kids wake, because I will not let them see me break down, and I will absolutely break down if we're still here in 5 minutes. I packed. I random clothes into a duffel bag while Emma sat downstairs in that dark living room. I looked at our bed, our photos on the walls. The handprint art our daughter made in kindergarten in the hallway. I'd taken all of this for granted. I'd risked all of it for hotel room hookups with someone who didn't actually know me. Before I left, I stopped at the kids' rooms. Sophie was clutching her stuffed rabbit, the one she'd had since she was a baby. Max was sprawled across his bed, one leg off the edge like he always slept. They had no idea their world was about to. They'd wake tomorrow and Dad would just be gone. I started crying then. Really crying, and desperate and too late. Emma appeared in the hallway behind me. Don't wake them, she said flatly. Don't get to traumatize them tonight. That's tomorrow's nightmare. I wanted to argue. I wanted to hold my kids one more time. But I'd lost the right to want things. I stayed at a motel that night. One of those cheap roadside places with stained carpets and a buzzing air conditioner. I sat on the edge of the bed and called Nicole. Hey, she answered, sounding happy. Wasn't expecting to hear from tonight. Miss me already? It's over, I said. Emma knows. The silence on the other end lasted too long. Oh, Nicole finally said. Maybe this is actually good. Now can be honest about us. We don't have to hide anymore. My ran cold. What? Well, we're going to leave her eventually, right? We talked about being together for real once figured out the logistics. Had we talked about that? Had I actually promised her a future? I tried to remember our conversations, but they all blurred together. Late night texts and stolen moments and fantasy talk that I'd never actually meant seriously. Had I led her on too? Had I lied to everyone? Nicole, I have kids. I have a family. I can't just have a family been complaining about for months. She interrupted. Told me we're unhappy. Told me she didn't understand. Was all of that a lie? Maybe it was. Maybe I'd constructed an entire fictional version of my marriage to justify cheating. Maybe Emma had been right there, loving me, trying her best. And I'd made a mistake. I said. A mistake. Her voice went sharp. I'm a mistake. 4 months of us being together is a mistake. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I should never have started this. She hung. I sat there holding my phone, realizing I'd just another person. Nicole hadn't destroyed my marriage, I had. But I'd used her to do it. Let her believe in something that was never real. I was a different kind of monster than I'd thought. The next morning, Emma called. The kids know we're gone. I told them had to leave early for a work trip. Have until Friday to figure out what we're going to tell them. And then are coming over to explain why daddy doesn't live here anymore. What should I say? That's not my problem anymore, she hung. Friday came too fast. I'd practiced a speech in my motel mirror 100 times. Some sanitized version about how mommy and daddy were going through a hard time and needed space. Kids' language. Age appropriate. Gentle. When I walked into my own house, Sophie and Max ran to me like nothing was wrong. They hugged my legs and talked over each other about school and their friends and a cool bug Max found in the backyard. They were so happy to see me. So innocent. Emma watched from the kitchen doorway, her face unreadable. Kids, I said, my voice already shaking, come sit with me. Dad needs to talk to about something important. We sat on the living room floor. The same floor where we'd built blanket forts and played with toy cars and had tickle fights. Sophie sensed something was wrong immediately. Her smile faded. Max just looked confused. Know how sometimes grown-ups make mistakes? I started, like when mommy burns dinner, Max asked. Emma made a sound from the doorway. Not quite a laugh, not quite a sob. Bigger than that, buddy. Sometimes adults make really big mistakes that the people they love, and Dad made a mistake like that. A really, really bad one. Sophie's eyes were filling with tears. She was smart, too smart. She already knew. Dad did something that mommy very much, and because of what I did, I'm not going to be living here anymore. I'm going to be staying somewhere else for a while. What did do? Sophie asked. Her voice was tiny. I looked at Emma. She just stared back, offering nothing. This was my mess to explain. I wasn't honest with mommy about something important. I broke her trust. And when break someone's trust like that, sometimes they need space to heal. But are coming back, right? Max said. After mommy feels better. I don't know, buddy. I don't know what's going to happen. Sophie stood suddenly. She said, clear, direct, devastating, made mommy cry. I heard her crying all night. Ermine and she ran upstairs. Her door slammed hard enough to shake the house. Max looked between me and Emma, his little face crumpling. Did we do something bad? Is that why you're leaving? That broke me. I pulled him into a hug. No, no, no. And Sophie didn't do anything wrong. This is all Dad's fault. This is only because Dad messed, but can fix it. He asked into my shoulder. I don't know. I whispered. Emma finally moved. She walked over and gently extracted Max from my arms. Go play in room for a bit, sweetheart. Dad needs to go now. But he just got here. I know, but he needs to go. Max went upstairs, moving slowly, looking back at me 3 times. Like he thought if he left, I might disappear forever. Emma walked me to the door. We stood in the entryway where we'd goodbye a million times before work, before trips, before normal ended. Sophie will forgive eventually. Emma said quietly. Kids do. But she'll never forget this. Neither will Max. Changed who they are today. Changed how they'll understand love and trust and commitment for the rest of their lives. Emma, I'm so. Don't. I can't hear another apology. They mean nothing now. She opened the door. My lawyer will contact next week. Lawyer. Or actually, we're getting divorced. She looked at me like I was. What did think was going to happen? They'd say sorry and we'd go back to normal. Killed our marriage. I'm just filing the certificate. The divorce papers arrived on Tuesday. Emma was asking for full custody with supervised visitation for me. She was keeping the house. She wanted half my retirement. She'd attached evidence. Jenna's photos. Screenshots of text I'd forgotten to delete, credit card statements from hotels. My mom called that same day. What did do? She asked. No hello, no small talk. Emma's mother called me. She told me everything. Please tell me it's not true. I told her it was true. The silence on the phone was worse than yelling would have been. I didn't raise to be this person, she finally said. A liar. Someone who abandons his children. I didn't abandon them. I'm still their father. Abandoned the family. Abandoned responsibility. Father and I stayed together through hard times. Through disagreements. Through everything. Because that's what do when make a commitment. Don't just throw it away because someone new makes feel special for 5 minutes. It wasn't. I don't want to hear excuses. Emma is like a daughter to me. Those kids are my world. Don't call me for a while. I need time to process this. She hung. My own mother hung on me. Work found out within days. Small office. People talk. Nicole had apparently told a friend who told another friend. By Wednesday everyone knew. People stopped inviting me to lunch. The friendly chatter at my desk dried. In meetings, colleagues barely made eye contact. My boss called me in on Thursday. I need to move to a different team. He said. The situation with Nicole is creating a hostile work environment. HR is involved now. I didn't do anything illegal. I said defensively. No, but had an affair with a coworker, and now half the office feels uncomfortable. We're not firing. But we are reassigning, and I'll be honest, judgment is being questioned. The promotion we discussed. That's off the table now. Everything was falling apart. My marriage, my relationship with my kids, my career, my family relationships. All of it circling the drain because I'd been too selfish and to appreciate what I had. I started drinking. Not just a or two, but real drinking. Alone in that motel room, working through bottles of whiskey while scrolling through old photos on my phone. Emma and me on our wedding day, both of us so young and hopeful. Sophie as a newborn, tiny and perfect. Max learning to walk, arms outstretched toward me. Vacations, birthdays, ordinary Tuesday nights that I'd give anything to have back. I texted Emma one night, and desperate, I never stopped loving. Please give me another chance. She responded an hour later, don't get to do this. Don't get to fall apart and expect me to comfort. I'm drowning here, trying to hold it together for our kids while sit in a motel feeling sorry for. Made this choice. Live with it. She was right. She was always right. The supervised visitation started in week 3. I got to see my kids for 2 hours every Saturday at a family therapy center. A court-appointed supervisor sat in the corner, taking notes, watching every interaction. Sophie barely spoke to me. She'd brought a book and read it the entire time, pointedly ignoring me. Max tried to be normal, told me about school, but he kept asking when I was coming home. I don't know, buddy. I said every time. But miss us, right? He asked during week 2 of visitation. More than anything. Why don't just say sorry and come back? How to explain to a 5-year-old that some mistakes can't be fixed with sorry? That some betrayal's too deep to heal. The supervisor wrote something in her notepad. I wondered what it said. Probably that I was failing at this too. Emma started dating someone in month 2. I found out through social media, a photo of her at dinner with a man I didn't recognize. She was smiling, really smiling, the way she used to smile with me. It destroyed me, which was insane, hypocritical, completely unfair. I'd cheated on her for months and somehow expected her to stay frozen in time, waiting. But seeing her moving on felt like watching someone else live that was supposed to be mine. I called her. We're already seeing someone. Don't, she said tiredly. Don't get an opinion on my anymore. What about the kids? Are they meeting him? Not yet. And when they do, it'll be because he's proven himself trustworthy, which is more than I can say for their father. That word, trustworthy, hit like a hammer. I'd never be that for her again. My lawyer told me I had no case for shared custody. We're the one who had the affair. He said bluntly. We're living in a motel. Have no stable home environment to offer. The court is going to side with the mother who's providing stability. Take the supervised visitation and be grateful. Grateful. I was supposed to be grateful for 2 hours a week with my own kids, sitting under a stranger's watchful eye, unable to even hug them without it being documented. I ran into Nicole at the grocery store in month 3. She was with someone. She saw me and her face went cold. Nicole, I said stupidly. Don't, she said, the same word Emma had used. Apparently that was my legacy now. Don't talk to me. Don't exist near me. I wanted to say I'm sorry. For everything. Sorry. I lost friends over. People at work think I'm a homewrecker. I had to switch churches because the judgment got so bad. But sure, sorry. That fixes everything. She walked away. The man with her gave me a pitying look. Like I was something broken and pathetic on the side of the road. He was right. 6 months after that night Emma found out. I'm sitting in a 1-bedroom apartment that I can barely afford. The divorce was finalized last week. I signed papers that officially ended 12 years of marriage, turned my family into a legal arrangement, reduced my children to a visitation schedule. The supervised visits ended after 4 months. The court decided I wasn't a danger to my kids, just a disappointment. Now I get them every other weekend, Friday night to Sunday afternoon. 48 hours twice a month to be a father. Sophie is 8 now. She talks to me but it's different. There's a wall between us that wasn't there before. She's polite, distant, careful, like I'm a stranger she has to be nice to. Last weekend she asked if she could call Emma's boyfriend, Uncle James. I want to, I said, feeling something inside me. He's teaching me to ride a bike without training wheels, she said. He's really patient, he doesn't give on things. The implication hung in the air. Unlike the dad who gave on our family. Max is more forgiving, but I can see the damage in him too. He has nightmares now. Emma told me he wakes crying, asking if I'm going to disappear again. If mommy is going to leave too. I broke his sense of security, taught him that people love can just vanish. Daddy, he asked last month. Why did stop loving us? I never stopped loving, I said, kneeling to his level never ever. What happened between mommy and me had nothing to do with and Sophie. I love both more than anything in the world. But left? He said simply. 5-year-old logic, brutally accurate. If loved us, wouldn't have left. How to explain to a kindergartner that destroyed everything for reasons that make no sense even to. That traded his stable home for hotel rooms with someone who doesn't even speak to anymore. I've tried to explain it to 1,000 times. Sitting alone at night, drinking too much, staring at walls. Was I bored? Selfish? Broken? Was there something missing in me that made me incapable of appreciating what I had? I've been to therapy. Court-ordered at first, then voluntary because I'm desperate to understand. My therapist, Dr. Chen, doesn't let me off easy. Made a choice, she said during our third session. Not a mistake. Chose to text Nicole. Chose to meet her. Chose to lie to wife. Chose to continue lying. At any point could have stopped. I know. Do. Because keep talking about it like something that happened to. Like we're swept in forces beyond control. But had control. Exercised it in the worst possible way. She's right. I can't blame. I was sober. I can't blame Nicole, she didn't force me. I can't blame Emma for not being exciting enough. She was being a partner and a mother and holding our together. I can only blame. The worst part is seeing Emma thrive without me. She got a promotion at work. She's lost weight, not from stress but from finally having time to take care of herself. She smiles more. She laughs more. In the brief exchanges when I pick the kids, I can see she's happier. I made her miserable. I was the problem in her and removing me solved it. James proposed to her last month. Sophie told me, excited and nervous about how I'd react. Mommy said yes, she said quietly. Armad, no, sweetheart. If he makes mommy happy, then I'm glad. It was true and it was a lie. I was glad Emma found someone who treats her right. I was also devastated that someone else gets to have the I destroyed. He gets to wake next to her. He gets to raise my kids. He gets to be there for school plays and soccer games and ordinary Tuesday nights. He gets everything I away. My parents talk to me now, but it's strained. My dad meets me for coffee once a month. Awkward conversations where he tries to give advice without directly saying I ruined my. My mom sends birthday cards but declined my invitation to Thanksgiving. I'm spending it with Emma and the kids, she said. She invited me. I do understand. Emma is still family to them. More family than I am now. My brother stopped speaking to me entirely. He was close with Emma, was in our wedding, used to babysit the kids. He sent me one text after the divorce. Had everything I had, and destroyed it. I don't want to know anymore. I lost my extended family. Emma's parents won't look at me. Her sister Jenna, who caught me that night, sends me emails sometimes. Not friendly ones. Updates about how my children are doing. Things I'm missing. Max got Student of the Month. Would have known that if been at the assembly. But gave the right to be there. She's punishing me. I deserve it. Work is tolerable now, but I'm stuck. That promotion is never coming back. People are professionally cordial but personally distant. I'm the guy who cheated on his wife. The guy who blew his family. Nobody wants to be too friendly with that guy. I tried dating once. A woman from a dating app. Coffee at a neutral location. She asked the normal questions: kids, previous relationships, what I'm looking for. I'm divorced, I said. 2 kids. It ended badly. What happened? I could have lied. Could have said we grew apart, wanted different things, any of the sanitized versions people use. But I'm trying to be honest now, even though it's too late. I cheated on my wife. Had an affair for 4 months. She found out and woman's expression changed instantly. Polite interest became judgment, distance, disgust. Oh, she said. That's honest. The date ended 10 minutes later. She texted me that night. I don't think we're a good match. I hope figure things out. Nobody wants damaged goods. Nobody wants the guy who proved he can't be trusted. I spent Christmas alone this year. The kids were with Emma and James, probably having a wonderful time. I sat in my apartment eating takeout Chinese food, looking at photos from last Christmas when we were still a family. Sophie in her pajamas, excited about Santa. Max's face when he opened his big present. Emma and me in the background of a photo Sophie took, Emma's head on my shoulder, both of us looking content. I deleted the photos. It too much to look at who I used to be. Sophie asked me something last week that I can't stop thinking about. We were sitting in my apartment, she was doing homework at my kitchen table, and she suddenly looked. Dad. Every day. I said honestly. Does it? Yes. More than anything. Good, she said. Then went back to her homework. My 8-year-old daughter wants me to suffer. And she's right to want that. Max is easier, but in some ways that's worse. He still hugs me goodbye. He still says, I love. Daddy. He still wants to believe I'm a good person who made a mistake, not a bad person who showed his true colors. When I grow I'm never getting married. He told me last month. Why not, buddy? Because then nobody can get when it ends. I taught my 5-year-old son that love is something that breaks, That marriage is something that fails, that commitment is temporary. What kind of father does that? I tried to apologize to Emma one last time, 3 months ago. She was picking the kids early for some school event. We stood in my apartment doorway, that awkward space where we're forced to interact. I know I've said this before, but I need to say it again. I'm sorry. I'm so profoundly sorry for what I did to us, to the kids. If I could go back. But can't, she interrupted. That's the thing about actions. They're permanent, can't unsay words. Can't unkiss someone. Can't unmake choices. I've moved on from this, and need to as well. Have forgiven me. She thought about it for a long moment. No. And I probably never will. But I've accepted it. I've accepted that capable of that level of betrayal. And I've built a that doesn't include. That's not forgiveness, that's survival. Do ever miss what we had? I miss what I thought we had, she said carefully. I miss the version of I believed in. But that person never existed, did he? The real was someone who could lie to me for months. Who could kiss our kids goodnight, and then go meet another woman. Who could watch me plan our future while we're destroying it. I don't miss him. I don't even know him. She left. I closed the door and slid down to the floor. She was right. The husband she thought she had, the father our kids thought they had, that person was a fiction. I was always this selfish, this capable of destruction. I just hid it better before. I see Nicole sometimes around town. She avoids me. We never speak. I heard through the office gossip chain that she moved to a different company, wanted a fresh start. I don't blame her. I used her to and she got caught in the. Some nights I drive past my old house. Not to be creepy, just to see it. The lights are on, warm and golden. I can see shapes moving inside through the curtains. My family, living there without me. Sometimes I see James's car in the driveway, and I have to pull over because I can't breathe right. He's sleeping in my bed. Eating dinner at my table. Reading bedtime stories to my kids. Living except he's probably doing it better because he's not broken the way I am. The hardest part is the ordinary moments I'm missing. Sophie lost her first tooth last month. Emma texted me a photo, Sophie grinning with a gap in her smile. I used to be the tooth fairy. I used to sneak into her room and leave money under her pillow and whisper that I loved her while she slept. James did it this time. I'm sure he did it perfectly. Max had nightmares about monsters last week. Emma mentioned it during pickup, said he's been scared of his closet. I used to do monster checks with him every night, dramatically searching the closet and under the bed, declaring it monster-free. We had a whole routine. I asked if I should come do a monster check. Emma looked at me with something like pity. James has been handling it, they have a new routine now. Max is okay. Max doesn't need me anymore. Neither does Sophie. They have a new normal. And I'm just the weekend visitor who used to be important. Dr. Chen asked me last session what I've learned from this. That I'm capable of terrible things, I said. That I can't trust. That I destroyed the best parts of my for nothing. What would tell someone who's thinking about cheating, she asked. I thought about it for a long time. I'd tell them to look at their kids sleeping. Really look at them. Think about explaining to them why daddy doesn't live here anymore. Think about watching them flinch when reach for a hug. Think about them calling another man uncle, and knowing he's more of a father than are now. I'd tell them to look at their partner, really see them. Not the version invented in head to justify what are about to do, but the real person who trusts. Think about the look on their face when they find out. Think about watching them cry. Think about knowing did that. I'd tell them to imagine their family at Thanksgiving without them. Their parents choosing their ex over them. Their siblings contact, coming home to an empty apartment while everyone else is together. I'd tell them to imagine being alone. Really alone. Not the romantic, peaceful kind of alone. The kind where nobody calls. Where holidays. Where watch own continue without through Facebook photos. And then I'd tell them that all of that still doesn't capture how bad it actually is. Because also have to live with, have to look in the mirror every morning, and see someone who was trusted completely, and betrayed that trust. Someone who had everything and it away. Someone their own children are ashamed of. The consequences last forever. Dr. Chen nodded. Do you think I'll ever have that family again? With someone new? No. I said, and I don't deserve to. That's the truth I've accepted. Some mistakes cost everything. Some bridges, once burned, can never be rebuilt. I had my chance at a family, at a partnership, at being someone's safe place. I destroyed it. I don't get another try. Sophie graduates kindergarten soon, starts first grade in the fall. Max is learning to read. Emma is remarrying in October. Continues, rolls forward, leaves me behind. I'm not writing this for sympathy. I don't deserve sympathy. I'm writing this because someone had shown me where this road leads before I stepped onto it. Someone had grabbed me at that company retreat and said, this flirtation or enjoying. It costs everything. But nobody could have stopped me. I had to learn by destroying everything I loved. If we're reading this and are thinking about cheating, if we're texting someone shouldn't, if we're convincing deserve more than what have, if we're rewriting marriage in head to justify what want to do, I'm begging nay stop. Look at what have. Really look at it. See the person who trusts. See the kids who think are a hero. See the built, see all of it clearly, without the filters and justifications and excuses. Then imagine watching it all. Imagine kid saying, I and meaning it. Imagine partner moving on and being happier without. Imagine being the villain in everyone's story including own. Because that's where this leads. Not to some exciting new romance. Not to a better version of to this. To a cheap apartment and supervised visits and holidays alone, and the knowledge that are the reason everything good ended. I thought I could have it all. The stability of marriage and the excitement of something new. I thought I was special, that the rules didn't apply to me, that I could manage the situation. I was wrong about everything. Now I'm just the guy who had it all and it away for absolutely nothing.